our whole thing growing up in Havertown was partying in the woods or uh, chilling in the parks. And there were so many good woods and so many good parks to choose from. It would move around quite frequently. Um, so I'll just try and talk about a couple of those fun times that we had. What's popping in my head right now was Kegger near the end of school uh, down in Cobb's Creek. And I remember everybody was there, man. That shit was crazy, man. Um, I think I remember somebody might have took a piss in somebody's car that night, like intentionally. I think that's what went down. I think somebody got got a little something on their seat when they were getting in at the end of the night. What were some other good party moments, man, out there? I remember at that dude Loftus's house. That was nuts, dude. This dude, like, parents went away for a weekend and, like, advertised it a little too much that he was gonna have an open house, and there must have been about 100 people there the one night, and people were doing the craziest shit, man. This is shit I heard, man. I didn't see some of this shit, but I heard somebody pissed in his fucking mouthwash and shook it all up so you couldn't tell and just left it there in his cabinet. It's no good, man. No good. Um, what else, man? I remember the McCunny party. That was crazy as shit. That was a good party, man. That was one of the best parties I ever been to. And I remember when his parents came home, everybody running. I was running, and there was probably about 100 people running down Darby Road on a regular night. I can't imagine if somebody's like driving by and they just see like a herd of 100 kids just running. What other parties? I'm not gonna tell that one out of respect for my friend's wife. I'm gonna keep going down the line. A couple New Year's parties, running around on New Year's, getting into crazy shit. Um, I'm like seeing all these places in my head as I'm talking about it. It's crazy as shit. It was a different time period back then, you know what I mean? Let alone like the fact that we were like, wild high school kids, but like, nowadays it's like it's almost like frowned upon to party, man. It kind of sucks, man. Like AA has kind of really changed a lot of shit. And oh, here's a story for you. This is crazy. So, 9/11 happened, and I remember going to school. We had our, somewhat of a normal day, as in they tried to make it into a normal day, but they sent us home midway through the day. So of course, all the high school kids were, oh man, party in the woods. You know what I mean? I remember somebody got a keg, and we ended up in the Aronimick Woods, and we were down there chilling. And as soon as we get there, this dude that we were chilling with or whatever gets like punched in the head with like a beer can by another dude that we knew. You gotta understand like how it is. Like there's so many kids in that town. It's like everybody knows everybody. So if like somebody has a problem with somebody and there's a fight, it's like these are two of my friends beating the shit out of each other. Like there's nothing really I can do. You know what I mean? So day goes by. Dude's fuming about it in the woods, like all day, just like stewing in it. And by the end of the day, this dude's ready to go, man. You know what I mean? Like, so he runs up to the dude that hit him with the beer can, and he starts beating the fucking shit out of this kid. And I was like, damn, dude, because the other dude like didn't win fights like that. So I was like, damn. And then somebody runs in, punches him in the face, and then another dude runs in, punches that dude in the face. Then another dude runs in and drops the original dude, and it just turns into this big brawl. And I'm like, dude, I know every single person here for fucking 10 years, dude. I'm not getting involved in this, man. So, I end up splitting, and that was that. But, yeah, I'm going to think about some more crazy party shit. I'll never forget what it was like, the good feeling of being down Bailey and just seeing people from all different crews in our grade or a grade above us just flock down to that place, man. And we would all hang out. Everybody would have a good ass time, and it was wild, man. I mean, some people were fucking drinking and shit. We were like fucking, you know, probably like seventh, eighth grade. You know, here's a good one. All right, shit, this is crazy. All right, so in sixth grade was the very first time I smoked weed. I was 11, and I was with a couple cats. We were behind my friend's house, and we were sharing that or whatever. And I don't remember getting real high or nothing like that. Another time, a couple weeks, months later, I remember being behind the stadium, which is right next to the police station, man. And I remember somebody's passing around a joint. 11 years old, man, just ripping it like it's nothing, man. It ain't nothing. And like we hung out with some cats, man. Like the cats that we hung out with, you know, were definitely considered in school as being, the bad kids from the teachers. But there was different levels of that too. Like there was the real bad kids who, these guys maybe end up in jail. They probably are in jail, some of them. Then you had the other kinds of kids that hung out with the bad kids that the teachers for some reason liked, but didn't really realize who was hanging out with who. And I would say that I probably fell into that category because I think the teachers kind of thought of me as somebody that would gravitate towards that kind of shit, but at the same time, maybe I wasn't a bad kid or something like that. And then there was just other kids who, liked kids like that at school, but then they wouldn't really get crazy like that shit out of school. Um, but yeah, it was a really good time, man. Like I look back on those days very fondly, and I always will. And it was just crazy to see how. I mean, it was the '90s, so you know everybody was partying and everybody was having a good ass time, even if there were a lot of fights and there were a lot of bullshit. That all went with the territory, man, and we all had a good ass fucking time. So, it is what it is.